The circular economy of plastics. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the three principles of a circular economy are that materials never become waste, products are kept in circulation at their highest value, and that nature is regenerated. Plastics fall in the technical cycle, where value can be maintained by sharing, repairing, reusing, and recycling. The smaller the loop, the more value that can be recovered. We all know what plastic is. It's everywhere, in the obvious like water and detergent bottles, takeout containers, lunch bags, plastic wrap, disposable gloves, but also in places you might not think about, like construction materials, cosmetics, and the clothes on your back. We love plastics. So much so that since initial commercialization in the 1950s, plastic production has increased from 2 megatons to 380 megatons globally as of 2015. Consequently, a total of 8 billion tons have been produced since the 1950s. An interesting note is that over half of all plastics ever made have been produced after the year 2000. So what? I recycle all the time, you might say. Well, if you remember the tenets of a circular economy, recycling is the outermost ring, the last resort. But let's talk about it for now. It's estimated that only 9% of all produced plastics since the 50s have been recycled. The specificity of different plastic types and their additives that create the very versatility we love means that nearly no plastics can be recycled the same way. And some, like film wrap and bags and bulky plastics, cannot be recycled by virtue of what they are. The mechanical methods that are in place are destructive to plastics, so much so that on average, a piece of plastic can only be recycled twice before its condition is deemed unusable and it must be disposed. Because so many plastics are designed for single use, reuse isn't always the most viable, but that's not to say it's impossible. Companies like Attitude and The Body Shop sell large containers of shampoos, detergents, cleaners to refill smaller ones at home or provide refill stations at some of their locations. However, the reuse of plastic bottles is currently a hot topic as we weigh the effects of PFAS. It suffices to say that currently the vast majority of plastics are disposed, and very few recirculate in the economy. Only 25% did in 2015. This means that every year, more oil, money, energy, and emissions are needed to produce new plastic, completely out of line with eliminating pollution and recovering value. What's more, not all waste is managed properly, and it's estimated that between 1.7 and 4.6% of total plastic waste ends up in the ocean. And the great efforts taken to recover plastics from these natural environments are simply not enough. So what can we do? Well, we can reduce our plastic waste generation, we can improve our waste management infrastructure and recycling techniques, and we can increase our efforts at environmental cleanup, pulling plastics out of oceans, lakes, and streams. But those are all topics for another time. Thanks for listening.